Hey guys, how we doing today?
Morning, everybody.
Joe here.
Kevin.
The last episode of Mad Men, I think, was a definitely a season favorite, if not like a series favorite
It was a
of
highlight.
ours.
It was a highlight for me. I thought it was incredibly well written, and the execution was really well done. This idea of disillusionment.
Yes.
It's like against the backdrop of receiving an award, like everything is great. The world is a great place.
Yeah.
Everything's going well,
Mhm.
and all of that is just shattered by the end
It's just everything's coming out.
for everybody.
Everything's boiling over at this
Yeah,
point. It really is.
yeah, it's like a reality check for Dawn, for Sally,
Mm.
um,
Mm.
for
The Sally
Megan.
bit was great. That was wonderful.
Yeah, Megan's parents, just
I
kind of across the board,
so we had
except for Roger.
except for Roger.
Right,
Roger was the
Roger's
only one
Roger.
that might have
Right,
enjoyed
yeah,
himself that episode. It's interesting because Megan's at the point now to where I think she's done without saying she's done.
well, I don't know that she's that far.
Well, I mean, okay, so she killed it with the pitch, right?
Yeah, she did.
They nailed Heinz.
No, you mean at work she's done.
That, and also I think she's getting there with Dawn. I think from the premiere of this season, we've seen Dawn be cruel to her,
No,
right?
yeah, Dawn's been awful since
And she leaves the
after the
office.
wedding.
She
Right,
leaves the office crying, and then they have that weird moment at the apartment,
right.
obviously. But I genuinely think that like she sees her parents, she sees how they are together, and I think that maybe she's kind of thinking, if I stay with this guy, this might be what happens. Also, she doesn't want to be arm. Well, she has no problem with being arm candy for him, right?
Right.
But she does not want to be successful in this workplace where she doesn't really hold these people to high standards. She
No.
kind of has disdain for these people.
Yeah, she doesn't look favorably upon the people she works with for
Yeah.
sure. She doesn't want to be Peggy. That
No.
was very strongly established there. I don't know where this goes. I think and this is just me. You're not wrong. I think it's more. I don't think we're heading that far yet.
Sure.
With work, I think so. I think I would be surprised if by the end of season 5 she still works at Sterling Cooper.
And that could cause a bigger rift in the relationship. Her being like, "I don't want to be here,"
You're right.
and then him being like, "What do you mean?" You know?
Maybe I don't know that he likes the idea of working with his wife all the time. I mean, he didn't work with he didn't work with Betty, and he was
He
fine
didn't.
with that.
No.
He's established that he wants her to be like a younger version of Betty, and Betty didn't work there, so I think he's okay if she just quits and stays home. Now, if she decides she wants to go do something else, he would be less okay with it. I think because
Sure.
remember when Betty wanted to model,
He kind of shot
he
that down.
yeah he turned down the other job largely because it
Yeah.
was like you're pulling my wife into a thing I don't want her in.
Yeah.
And even though he can't say that, but I think as far as Dawn goes, I don't think she's getting to the point of we're done, but I think she's had her eyes open as to what her
This is.
situation is.
Yeah.
Right. I think it's okay. I'm in a marriage with a guy I didn't really know.
Yeah.
All I knew was this persona, and now that I'm starting to see cracks, I don't know what to do. And I think it's more of like a what do I do now rather than I want to get out. You know what I mean? I think
Okay.
she'll get there,
I get it. Yeah.
but I don't think I think she's more of an oh crap point than she is at a I need to get out of this point.
The irony of it is that Don has been way better to her than he's ever been in any other relationship. It seems
Isn't
like.
that sad?
But at the same time, he's still like emotionally abusive.
Mhm.
Like he leaving her at a restaurant.
Yeah, he emotionally abuses her. He gaslights her.
Literally chased her around the room.
Right.
It was a tough one to watch, but
Yeah, it was.
he's such a complicated person. You
Right.
know, I mean, it's so hard to be on Don's side. You're like, well, you're not cheating. Oh, you're being aggressive. That's not the answer there, Don.
I think it's kind of like when you root for any other anti-hero. It's
Yeah.
not that you're rooting for them as they are. It's you can
You're observing them.
yeah, but I think you're rooting for the fact that they have a lot of good qualities, and
Yes.
Dawn does, and it's like, hey, do better. You
You're
know,
rooting for the other angel on her shoulder.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
exactly.
you're rooting for Dawn's better angels to prevail over
Mhm.
his lesser demons. You know,
Exactly.
and it's just a hope that happens, and a sense that this show is kind of showing you the cracks in the American dream system,
Yep.
and that it's probably not going to.
No, sure.
I don't know that there's a version of Dawn that is a well-rounded, healthy family man slash.
And I still
Batman.
love Don Draper as a character. Yeah,
Right.
I think he's up there with Tony Soprano,
I do too.
Walter White.
I do too.
One of the most interesting TV characters of all time.
Right.
It's kind
Yeah.
of amazing that he didn't win all the Emmys. You know?
Right.
You know?
Well, I mean, it's like it's not a guy you aspire to be.
No, not at all.
Just like those other guys you mentioned, you don't want to be them,
You want to avoid that.
but they do make for fascinating television.
Absolutely,
You
because
know?
nobody's perfect, and this is just that
Right.
times 11.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Nobody was happier with Walter White's outcome at the end of Breaking Bad than I was.
Sure.
I was in the, with no spoilers, I was in the oh thank God camp. But that doesn't mean I didn't love watching that compelling character week after week.
Yeah.
And that's Don Draper.
Mhm.
In that there's a lot of things to really despise about him. But man, is he compelling television.
I've never rooted for somebody's happiness more.
Right. Please just get it together.
Just be
Right.
happy, please.
All right, we're gonna go and jump into this.
Yes. If you guys are watching this on YouTube for the first time, welcome to our channel. If you don't mind hitting the like button for us, please leave us a comment down below and hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all the new content we have coming your way.
If you'd like to see a full-length reaction to this and everything else we've watched or are watching, please check out the link in the description below to our Patreon page. You'll find us at least 4 episodes ahead of everything that we're watching over there.
Yes.
So if you finish this on YouTube and want to keep going for the next 4 episodes, they're right there for you.
Mhm.
You are going to have to stream and watch along on your own device or streaming service over there. You're only going to see and hear us for copyright purposes.
Mhm.
So don't expect to see and hear the show if you go over to our Patreon. Sorry. Right. We're also doing 30 Rock as an exclusive over there. All right. For those of you with us on Patreon, welcome back, guys. We're going to go and start episode 6 here. It's 8. I'm sorry, 8. We are definitely at the halfway point
Yeah.
of season 5. Here in 3, 2, 1.
And you have just stopped short the minute they put you in the ground.
I don't think you're right about that.
Oh, I'm positive.
This is a check the fine
You
print
should
on that life
definitely check,
insurance
yeah.
policy. Yeah.
Pete's face, though, his realization face is
Yeah.
really good.
Aren't you worried you're going to get caught?
I'll be right.
Bold coming from Pete.
Well, Pete's trying to figure out how.
Don kind of set him straight after that episode.
No, I don't think so. I think Pete's trying to figure out how do I do this. I think that's what that conversation is.
Gotcha.
How do I get my own apartment in the
Let's
city?
say, I guess that conversation with Don didn't end.
No, it didn't end well.
Chevalier Blanc. It's more trouble than it's worth.
It's actually a really good pitch, isn't
Not
it?
bad, yeah. Are they actually going to get the Beatles, though?
No.
Yeah, they could get the Stones. I doubt they're going to get the Beatles.
Let me ask you something. When did music become so important?
It's always been important.
Yeah, it's music, man.
Did he really just ask that?
Yeah.
He thinks
like
jingles are more important than songs.
Right. It's like the culture's passing him by. Yeah. Yeah,
Something's
I'm
up.
kind of curious what's up. Yeah.
I mean, it is episode 8 out of 13, so I mean, we're getting to the end.
We're getting there. Yeah.
Are you Beth?
Yes.
Talks about you often.
I'm sorry. He doesn't talk about anyone.
She looks familiar.
She does. I'm trying to place her.
I locked my keys inside. He should have been home by now.
Sin City.
That's what it is. She's the girl
Yeah.
at the end of the movie.
Is Peter going to hit on his wife?
Yeah, I think so.
No, I doubt it. He's just covering for him.
House is open. I'll deal with this in the morning.
She got clocked.
keys.
Yeah.
So you want to be
Get back in the car. She left the door open.
She did.
You drove me home. Now leave me alone.
She left the door open.
Did leave the door open, yeah.
Not that means he gets to do this. Yeah.
Oh,
No, yeah. She kissed him.
Are you really worried that Howard's coming home?
it would be hilarious if he
Well,
did.
to be fair, he knows he's not because he was wearing his "I'm
Yeah.
hooking up with my girlfriend" tie.
Yeah.
He said it in the morning. Pete's insecurities are just
The insane.
towering.
He's the most
Yeah.
insecure person in the show.
I think so too.
For a while, I thought it was Roger, but it's definitely Pete.
I think Don's got his own too.
No,
Obviously,
they all
but
do for sure.
but
But Pete's is bleeding
Pete,
through.
yeah,
Big
Pete,
time.
Pete has a hard time masking his.
I don't want to leave you.
Oh boy, yeah. Is Pete getting a little puppy love here, which is so
It
messed
seems
up?
like it, yeah.
There are times I really like and pull for Pete, and there are times I just want to slap him.
It's like anybody on the show.
Right.
You know,
This
every
is-
character in the show.
Roger and Don go through it a lot with me too. I just want to slap them sometimes.
You want to quit?
I don't know.
It's not for her.
You know there are people killing to get this job.
Yeah. Quit so someone else can have him. I agree with that. Yeah.
They're not interested.
Cool Whip's not interested, or Don and Megan aren't interested?
We're not interested.
Peggy's
Peggy.
mad.
Come on, Peggy.
I think she's mad at Megan for this.
She is.
And I think that's reasonable. I don't think she's being unreasonable.
Yeah.
I think she's acting out a little too much, but I don't
That's
think
what I'm
she's
saying.
wrong. Yeah.
She needs to tell Dawn that, honestly. Like, and also, if they're going to this length to like do this bit, that is acting.
Right.
See if you can get her in a commercial.
Sure.
Meet me in the city. Anywhere.
No.
He can be so weird sometimes.
Yeah, it's like the girl in his driving ed class, right? It's weirdly possessive. He's just trying to reaffirm something.
I'm a man. Make sure I'm a
I
man.
mean, really.
It's like when he bought the gun.
Yeah.
I told you that I went for a drink, but I didn't. I had a call back for a play.
Okay.
He's lost.
Did you get it?
What? No. No, I didn't. But it was incredible.
Let's see how he handles this.
Yeah, that's the big question, isn't it?
Sometimes we don't get to choose where our talents lie.
He's looking her out of it.
I don't want to do it, Don.
End of discussion. She doesn't want to do it.
Go in tomorrow and you'll say goodbye to everybody and we'll get you on your way.
Well, all right. I was not expecting
yeah.
that.
I love you.
Maybe he is grown. I don't know. I don't want to say
Well,
that because
he said the same thing to Betty when
He
she went
did,
to that
and then
Coke commercial, and then he undermined her.
He
Yeah.
torpedoed it. If I was him, I'd be like, "Can we do the cool up things? That was kind of fun." I want to see that because that
Right.
did seem really fun. He seems to really care about her.
No, I think he does.
It's different than what it was with Betty. I mean, him and Betty were together for like 10 years at that point
Right.
in time.
Yeah.
Dawn, I'll take care of it.
Joan is the best.
Yeah, Joan's always the best.
If there's always one person you can root for in the show, it is Joan.
For sure.
Joan and even Peggy has her moments, but
Right.
like it's Joan.
For sure.
Why do they get to decide what's going to happen?
They just do.
It's called consent.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
my man.
The 60s, where that
Right,
really
yeah.
wasn't an idea.
Is he just realizing what consent is?
Yeah, I
Like,
think so. It's like, why didn't I get to make the call?
Jesus, Pete.
She doesn't want you. That's why.
I'll bring it home.
See? So far, he's doing the motions right.
He is. I'm really surprised at this.
Maybe we are seeing some growth between
Watch.
Betty and
Watch him run upstairs and like call every off-Broadway producer and be like,
Right.
"Don't hire her." I don't think that's the case, but we'll see.
No, I don't think so.
Because a lot of this marriage has been like him righting the wrongs he did with Betty.
And this might be that too, right?
Yeah.
He might not be the same, vindictive guy that he was then. I don't know. Oh, I like that.
What is?
That was the danger. The
Well,
symbolism.
also like
Yeah.
it's a long fall to the bottom.
Right, yeah. Is this it? Is this
This might be it. His wife's out of the office.
is this like an indication that Dawn is? This is where the drop comes
Well, interesting that like
because it goes immediately to
the
start.
first
drinking.
shot after that was the bottle again.
Right. Yep.
I could just stop by right now.
Beth's a great cook.
Is she?
What is he doing? This is basic stalking.
What a weird man. What a strange man. That's insane.
Beth, honey.
Oh my god, I can't.
This
watch
is so uncomfortable.
If he wasn't super rich and successful, he'd be like Norman Bates or like
Yeah,
or Travis Bickle or something. Like he's got a weird vibe about him.
Bethesda, Pennsylvania.
Oh my god, I hate you. I hate you, Pete.
That's right.
Howard, may I speak?
Like he
with
doesn't have friggin' lipstick on his face.
May I speak with you? Yeah.
She wants him gone, and I don't blame her.
You think she'll just tell him? I doubt
No.
it. I doubt it.
Don't run away.
Okay.
Glad we didn't have to sit through that whole horrible
So awkward.
exercise.
So
Yeah.
awkward.
Love you. You're everything I'd hoped you'd be.
Poor girl.
She has no idea. Yeah. I thought she had an inkling in the last episode, but maybe not, because Dawn is not everything that she wants.
They're
she
arranged
deserves,
in
yeah.
varying degrees of sweetness.
Oh, the transition to his face. here,
Amazing
yeah.
transition. This is either going to go one of two ways. It's going to fail, or it's going to go really well, and he's going
Right.
to realize he doesn't need Megan.
For sure.
It's delicious on its own.
Yeah, Cool Whip's awesome.
It is awesome.
I've definitely just grabbed a case of Cool Whip and just with a spoon, just go to town on it.
Just
Right
taste
already?
it.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Dang.
That was painful to watch.
Listen,
I did everything right, and I'm still
Poor
getting
thing.
it from you.
Yeah.
You know what? You are not mad at me, so shut up.
She's right. You are mad that your wife
Cut
quit.
back to Candace
Yep.
eating Cool Whip.
She's right.
I'm sorry.
She is right.
You can't smoke in here.
Look at his face.
Yeah. She's just standing there the whole time.
Yeah, you can't smoke in their test kitchen, man.
You went?
He's sucking every way.
I hate you, Pete. I just can't even. This is
We
so
have
weird.
we have these Pete episodes where it's just like, wow, this guy is so broken.
Just a weird man.
Yeah.
Truly.
You didn't know what was going on. Bought you the latest Beatles album.
Which one is it?
Start with this one.
I can't tell what
Revolver, I
it,
think
I
it's
can't tell
Revolver.
what it is. I'm assuming we end with him playing it.
Think he gets it? I don't think he gets it.
No. I don't know. He's an avid reader.
He is an avid reader. Remember when he was reading Exodus? He stayed up
Yeah.
all night to read Exodus. This is a great
Yeah.
needle drop, though. I love
Yeah.
this.
Sorry, YouTube, we can't share the beauty of this with you. Yeah.
This is like my dream. I want to come home, make myself a drink, and just throw on the Beatles.
Yeah.
And the song is like parallels what's happening in the show too. And it's not like a cheesy needle drop either.
Let it go, man. Okay, she shouldn't do that.
She feels bad.
Yeah. I like that. And now it's gone.
That's
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
smart.
Oh, that was cool.
He doesn't like it.
No, of course not. There's no way he was going to get that.
Yeah.
And that the psychedelic Beatles era, no way that Don Draper was going to get that.
Hard cut. Nope.
He doesn't understand her either. That's kind of the point.
He's trying, but it's not working. All right, yeah. Yeah. They brought it back to the credits.
Of
Nice.
course.
Yeah. This show's incredible.
That was great.
The last two episodes have been like the strongest of the series, in my opinion. This is like a fantastic show too. So to say that is really saying something. I mean, like every season, it just gets better and better and more layered. And I really loved all the transition shots in the show.
Right.
This season or this episode. I mean that little montage they had at the very end was brilliant.
Yeah, it was.
Especially the Pete moment with the heart.
Yeah.
What a great representation of what that was.
Sure.
You know, and as hard as it was to watch, I did think we needed for Pete's character.
Right. But I think the resolution for Pete, I think we've hinted before that eventually he and Trudy are going to be no more. I think it's inevitable. I think
We've thought that for a while, though.
Right.
You know, even back in like season 2, season 3, I was like,
yeah, but he's fallen apart more this season than he has at any other point.
He's a
This
mess.
isn't
He's a
even
mess.
this isn't even the first episode where we see what a mess he is this
The
season.
brothel episode.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He is not okay.
No.
I think he's going through a real crisis of identity.
Yeah. Big time.
And clearly he's at that dawn point of blowing everything up. Whereas I think Dawn, we're getting the transition of Dawn here to where maybe he's not okay with Megan quitting her job in acting, but he's really trying to be,
Yeah,
which
but-
is more than he ever did for Betty.
But sooner
Right.
or later, the levee's gonna break. I mean, like it just
Sure.
means like he's putting on this show. Not even a show. I think he is trying. Like
I think he's putting out the effort.
He's putting out the effort, but eventually it's gonna crack. That shot with the elevator,
Mhm.
that's a big signal to it as well.
Yeah, I think Dawn's about to implode.
Because we got that twice now. 'Cause
Right,
we got the dream
Mhm.
of him like having the affair, but he was able to kill it.
Right.
Elevator's there. Back to the shot of the bottles. It is the blow up for this finale is going to be insane. I feel like.
Yeah, I think Dawn is about to start hitting a downward spiral here.
Also-
I think that's what the elevator shot was. My guess is that's really what they were
Yeah, it's
hinting
a
at
long way down, you know, and,
Right.
and even so, the beginning of the season, we both thought that like obviously we never thought the Megan thing was going to work out.
No, and the 2-part episode to start it really highlighted
Oh,
that,
yeah.
right?
Great foreshadowing.
Dawn's need to be controlling,
Mhm.
Megan making him uncomfortable by being flirtatious in front of an audience when she did the Zoomy Zoo song,
Yeah.
and Dawn's complete discomfort with the whole evening and being under a spotlight.
Yeah.
And Betty knew what to do. I could tell Betty how I wanted things, and she would do them.
Yeah.
So I think that Megan is Dawn wants Megan to be a certain thing, right? Peggy 2 or a Betty 2.0, and she's not.
No.
And I think that that's where the end is going to be for those two.
But also, though, I thought that it was going to be over by the end of the season. I don't know, because we might be getting into Megan's acting career a little bit.
Sure.
I mean, because, like, they've made her such a character this season. We see her way more than we saw Jane.
Right.
In many ways, we've seen her more than we've seen Betty.
Yeah. We've seen her more than Betty this season, for sure.
The last 2 seasons.
Right.
I would say. And I know that January Jones is pregnant. And we got a pretty significant intro to her character this season, which is appropriate. If she's going to be off the show for a while because of the baby, then that's
sure.
At least give her that. And she'll be back though for sure. I'm positive she'll be back on the show.
I don't know how much though. I really feel like her story is so removed from every other character anyway, except for Sally and Dawn. Right? Yeah. Sally, Bobby, because Bobby's just kind of there. Yeah. But really, Sally and Dawn are really her only connections to the show. Yeah. The show's not about.
It's not about Betty Draper.
Right? And her life with Henry. It was about Betty when she was with Dawn.
Yeah.
But now that she's kind of off doing her own thing, it is going to be harder to bring her back. It'd be weird if we were seeing Paul Kinsey, who left after season 3 when they blew up Sterling Cooper.
I don't miss Paul though.
I don't miss him at all. But it's just logistically, when they do that, it's hard to bring somebody back.
I just feel like Betty's story is not resolved yet.
No, it's not. No, we're not done with her for sure.
That's what I'm saying. It's like Paul's story was like it was resolved.
Yeah, you were a crap employee, a pretentious crap employee.
Yeah.
Bye. They didn't bring you.
Well, there's a lot more I'm interested to see about Betty. I want to see, because in many ways, like her and Dawn, they're not the same person, but they have a lot in common. Like they are perfect for each other in some ways.
In some ways the complete misery, no matter what they do. You kind of feel bad for both of them, and a lot of the characters on the show. I'm not there with Pete, but this idea of I'm not happy right now, and they flail to try to find what the missing piece, right?
Yeah.
What am I missing that's going to make me happy? And they just can't find it. They really try, and sometimes they're even trying to be decent people about going about it, like Dawn has with Megan. I feel like Dawn has really tried to be a good husband to Megan, but he just can't find the piece to make it work.
Yeah,
because it's him.
And it's funny too, because like the show proposes that question, right? But it doesn't really give you an answer. It's not obvious.
There is no answer. There is no like.
You can't figure it out. You're I don't know what would make this guy happy. I really don't.
We've built a society that says you do these things and you will be happy at the end, and we just know that's not necessarily
they show
true.
You all the angles too. We've seen Dawn, single bachelor mode, alone. That wasn't happy. He was in many ways more unhappy that way.
Right.
We've seen him in 2 marriages at this point, and he's still not happy.
Sure.
This might be the happiest we've seen him in a while, but at the same time, he's miserable. It kind of seems like.
Yeah, any of the characters that we get any type of in-depth examination of their life, because I mean, you can't really say about Stan. We don't know what Stan's like outside of work.
But no, he's growing on us though. Stan's great.
For sure.
Yeah, Stan's
but
awesome.
But the characters where we actually explore their lives in the show, none of them have really figured out how to just be content, except maybe Ken. Ken Cosgrove might be the one guy who has kind of figured out, this is what I want my life to be. Yeah. I want it to be, I want a work-home balance.
Yeah.
I want lines between the two. But
I would say Peggy a little bit too, because she has like a certain unhappiness about her, but she's in many ways the most driven and motivated.
She is.
And it's kind of like she finds content in her drive, in her motivation, and her quest, so to speak, to be the best.
Yeah, at work though, I feel like in her personal life she still sucks. I still feel like that she was trying to break up with Abe, but he's like, I think we should move in together.
But then she was expecting a proposal.
Right? Yeah, exactly. I don't think she has that part figured out. Right? Yeah.
But she's also looking for approval constantly. You know what I mean?
Sure.
From her mother. I mean,
which is never going to happen. Right?
Yeah, from Dawn, she's always looking for approval, and so it's she's also just as interesting, I would say.
Yeah, no, she is.
But in many ways, she is a little more. Like, she always has the right thing to say to, like, Megan.
Yeah.
She was very gracious with Faye.
And she was.
She's a good person. But I guess you are right. Yeah, she was kind of looking for something.
Yeah, I think if you're going to look at one of the other people, besides Ken at the office, I'd say Joan.
But even her personal life's a mess.
So it's a
You
mess,
know?
but I don't think
She's
that's on
independent.
her. Right.
She's self-sufficient for sure.
I just think she married the wrong guy. I don't think it's like
time.
she's broken.
Mhm.
I think she married a broken person,
Oh, big time.
and she's out of that now. It looks like.
Mhm.
I don't know if we'll ever hear what happens with that guy.
I hope not. But, well,
Greg,
I would like to have. I like the conclusion,
sure.
but at the same time, if Greg never comes back, I won't lose sleep over it.
I think she kind of said like, I don't care if you come back or not, which is if she's not going to care, why is the audience going to ever really be in on that? I mean, maybe.
You don't think the audience I really doubt there's any people out there that are like, oh yeah, Greg's my favorite character on Mad Men.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I don't think anyone's gonna be like, what happened to poor Greg?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, who cares?
He stayed in Vietnam.
Yeah, he's still right. 1990, he's still living in Vietnam as a doctor.
Yeah.
As an old man. We have had back-to-back episodes where we're kind of seeing some of these characters are spinning out, and I think we're at that breaking point for Dawn. I think we saw in the last episode at the end with the award show that professionally Don isn't doing as well as he thinks he is. He doesn't have the control he thinks he does.
Oh yeah.
And now we see in this episode he doesn't have the control of his personal life that he thinks he does.
Yeah.
I think there are two pillars to Dawn that make Dawn stay Dawn, and both of them are teetering at best, right?
Yeah.
Work and home now are both out of his control.
Absolutely.
And Don is a guy that definitely needs to feel like he's in control. So I think the open elevator shaft, then cut to Don back in the bottle, is really going to. We're going to start seeing things darken for him.
For him wanting control as much as he does, he's also like very dependent on somebody.
Sure.
I don't know if that's like mommy issues or
what. No, it's definitely.
It could definitely be like some kind of like because like he's never really had a strong relationship with a woman.
Right. Well, I think it's women, men. I think it's pure abandonment issues in general.
100%.
I think Don was never loved, and so
he really was never
right.
Never.
And so, as much as he'll never admit it, approval of everyone else, a family at home, and the people that in the work environment are what really defines who he is.
Yeah.
He needs approval. And it looks like his wife is saying, "I don't want to work with you," and work is saying, "You're not, none of these people are actually going to work with you because you made that letter you blew it up with Lucky Strike."
Yeah.
He's kind of losing approval from both, and I think he's gonna spin.
It's gonna happen. And as the
I don't know what it looks like. I don't know what rock bottom looks like for Dawn.
Well, we've seen it before, but what does it look like from here? You know what I mean? Like.
I don't know if we've ever gotten there with him.
I feel like when he was season 4, I feel like that was pretty.
When he was drunk all the time, and
I think that's pretty.
Hooked up with his secretary, kind of against her will.
Yep.
When he was like, when the copywriter called him pathetic.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I still feel like there are deeper depths that he can go to than that. I think he got himself out. I think there's probably a bottoming out where he can't get himself out, where he needs help to get out. You know what I mean? I think that's what most people.
His lifeline was Megan. I'm going to get married to this.
Right. Exactly. So. I don't think that he hit bottom simply because he was able to be like, all right, I'm going to start exercising and journaling, and I'm going to cut back on the drinking. I think the simple fact that he was able to course correct that easily means he didn't actually hit bottom.
That's a fair point. That's a really fair point. That's the closest we've got to it, though.
No, I think so too. Yeah. I think so too. I just think we might see as we move into the last 2.5 seasons here.
Yeah.
Deeper depths.
2.5, man.
Right. Yeah, we're really cranking through.
You know what? As soon as we end the show, I'm going to watch it again.
Yeah. No, this is definitely a
I'm
binger.
going to binge this one back.
Right. All right. We'll catch you in the next one, guys.
See ya.